What's up, guys? All right, here we are. So we are talking about setup position a little bit. We've reviewed how we put our hands on the golf club. We've got our hands on here the right way. Next step would be to address the golf ball the right way. So first and foremost, we want to address, something that's pretty common, a common fault that I see a lot of amateur golfers struggle with this, but how wide our stance needs to be at setup position. And there's not going to be one right answer for anybody, okay? But there is some quick rules that we can kind of follow, and then you can adjust from there in order to make sure you're comfortable, all right? When we go through and we talk about setup position, we really talk about athletic positions. What does a defender look like? If I am a shortstop, right, I am really low to the ground, my gloves down, I am ready to go, I can go in any direction. If I'm a defender in basketball, I'm a little bit angled, my arms are out, my chest is up, and I'm ready to go. I can go left, I can go right. It doesn't really matter because I'm in an athletic position. Well, golf's no different, okay? So we're gonna get an athletic position. Our feet are gonna be just about shoulder width. You can see right here, if we were to draw straight lines right from my shoulders down to the floor at 90-degree angles, they would hit right at the inside portion, or should hit right about the inside portion of my feet here, okay? So the insoles of my feet are about shoulder width apart, and that's gonna provide me the best stability to be able to rotate both back and through and be very balanced while doing it. It's also gonna allow me to be very aggressive while doing so. If I'm too narrow, I'm gonna have a really hard time kind of loading in my legs. I'm gonna have a hard time being explosive as I try and make a golf swing and hit the ball as far as I can. And actually the same is going to be true whenever I'm too wide. There actually becomes a point whenever your femurs go up into your hips that if you're too wide like this, your body's just trying to get you to stay upright instead of actually allow your femur to rotate. That ball in the socket right there won't rotate really as it's supposed to. Everybody's femurs go into their hips at a slight angle, okay? And so if we are too wide or too narrow, we actually prohibit that joint's ability to work properly, all right? So we're about shoulder width apart, insides of our feet are shoulder width apart. You can see that my toes are actually flared out about 15, 20 degrees each direction, and that's gonna allow me to make a bigger turn back and through without having to feel my feet move a whole bunch. If your toes are straight up and down, that's going to limit your body's ability to rotate into that leg, okay? That's called internal rotation. When you see that I'm rotating towards the right or over the top of my right hip, that right leg goes into internal rotation when your toes go towards your left side or towards the middle, okay? And there's really not a lot of direction for that. But if we start with our toes a little bit out, I can now go a much greater distance in both directions, okay? The last piece of this, just with the setup position in general, is I'm gonna really try and make sure that I'm on the balls of my feet. My athleticism comes from being able to react in an aggressive manner. So if I'm too much on my heels, I'm gonna go into oh crap mode, and I'm gonna try just to not fall over while I'm making this golf swing. And so if we can be very balanced, stay on the balls of our feet, slight knee bend, bending from the waist, and I'm ready to go. I'm in my athletic position. At this point, I can just drop my arms right down underneath my shoulders, and I'm going to be able to hit this golf ball a long way, okay? So that's the really basic setup position whenever we're talking about how to address the golf ball. Weight on the balls of my feet about shoulder width apart, toes slightly out. I'm bent from the waist, same way from here, okay? And then last piece here is we're always going to put this golf club down, and we got to figure out how far away from this golf ball to be throughout every single one of these shots here, okay? So this is part of this pre-shot routine. We'll talk about this a little bit later in another video, in the pre-shot video. But we go club down next to the golf ball, and then we put our hands on. And the reason for that is that the distance between you and the golf ball will change a little bit, but only because the golf club changes. The length change between every single golf club, not because you do anything differently, okay? So we go club next to the golf ball, hands on, and then I'm gonna get in that really athletic stance, okay? And I'm gonna know that I've done this correctly if I can drop my bottom hand, which is my right hand for a right-handed golfer, opposite for a lefty, and it's literally going to hang right at that point where I'm gonna make contact with the grip. That's a great thing. That's right where I'm trying to hang on to it, okay? If my right arm, if I was too far away, my right arm would go underneath the grip or it would hit my left hand. If I was too close, it would go right over the top of the grip. So a really simple way for us to measure how far away we are from this golf ball in order to be consistent so I can make sure that I'm making good solid contact every time. So follow those tips whenever we're getting set up, really consistent setup every single time. You can measure all of that. And when you do that, you're going to find yourself in a better position to make a simple golf swing each time. Thanks.